Divorce doesn't just end a marriage. It makes you question whether you failed as a man. It rattles the foundation of who you thought you were: provider, protector, husband, father. And suddenly, each of those words feels damaged, dented. I know that hollow feeling. When my daughter's mother divorced me to chase after her youth and party nights that she had missed, everything that I held dear just disappeared. She had been my stabilizing anchor. After I'd clawed my way through PTSD from Vietnam, when she left, I thought the bottom would just give away. I was certain that was the end of me, but it didn't. A few years later, when I kind of looked up from the wreckage, I realized I had come through intact, scarred, oh yes, but whole. So today, let's talk about that silent weight so many men carry. The fear that divorce didn't just cost them love, it proved them unworthy of it. You see, divorce doesn't only take a partner. It takes belonging. It takes rhythm. It takes the mirror you used to see yourself in. You wake up alone and wonder, was I not enough? Isolation turns to shame. Shame turns to silence. And silence convinces you the story is over. But it isn't. Loss doesn't define you. It reveals what still stands when the storm clears. Step 1, separate circumstances from identity. The end of a relationship is a circumstance, not a verdict. Your worth isn't erased because a marriage collapsed. That event lives in your history, not in your DNA. You are not the divorced guy. You are the man who survived transformation. When you confuse circumstances with identity, you hand failure the pen to write your story. Take it back. Say it out loud. What happens to me isn't who I am. That sentence sounds simple. What happens to me isn't who I am. But it's the first brick in rebuilding. Step 2, challenge that inner critic. Inside every man is a voice that whispers, you failed. It sounds convincing because it borrows your own time. But that voice isn't truth. It's fear wearing your accent. Instead of arguing with it, get curious. When it says, I failed, ask, what did I learn? That question turns shame into strategy. Literally, write the answers down. What did I learn? Write it down. You'll see patterns, moments of courage you forgot, lessons earned the hard way. Self-compassion is not indulgence, it's fuel. A man who treats himself with compassion becomes the kind of father whose children feel safe. Step 3, redefine success as a father. You see, divorce doesn't end fatherhood. It changes the terrain, it changes the circumstances, but it doesn't end it. Success isn't measured in weekends or court orders. It's measured in presence, in consistency, in being a steady signal, even when the connection is weak. You don't need perfect moments. You need repeatable ones. The text that says, I'm thinking of you. The letter you'll never know if they read. A prayer whispered with their name in it. That is fatherhood. Quiet persistence that outlasts misunderstanding. Step 4, rebuild masculine confidence. Shame drains masculine strength faster than exhaustion. So start small. Clean the garage. Lift the weight. Finish the project you've delayed. Each small win tells your nervous system we can trust ourselves again. Momentum rewires shame into progress. Action dissolves self-doubt in ways just thinking about it never can. Confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's the evidence of movement. Step 5. Surround yourself with right men. No man recovers alone. I sure didn't. Isolation breeds distortion. Brotherhood restores perspective. Find men who speak truth without pity, men who have scars, not theories. In the company of men who've fallen and risen, your story stops feeling like an exception and starts feeling like, unfortunately, a rite of passage. A strong circle won't fix you, but it'll remind you who you still are. Give yourself permission to rise again. Falling isn't failure. Staying down is. Now, you've paid in pain already. That is enough tuition. You have permission to start over, to rebuild joy, to believe that love isn't done with you. The world doesn't hand out redemption slips. You have to authorize your own comeback. So say it plainly. I get to rise again. Not because someone forgave you, but because you finally forgave yourself. Reframe the narrative. Divorce didn't make you less of a man. It forced you to face the parts of yourself that comfort never questioned. It stripped away the illusion and left only essence. That is not failure. That's forging. The fire that took your marriage also burns away the false definitions of manhood you inherited from the culture around you. What's left is cleaner metal and the will to use it wisely. You're not a failure. You're rebuilding. You walk through loss, faced the mirror, and refused to stay down. That's what fathers and men do. They rise. So tell me, what have I said here that reminded you you are not a failure? Drop your comment below, because one man's reminder might be another man's lifeline.